Welcome to Unexpectedly Successful. Join us to hear the raw and genuine stories of women founders who have created their own pathways to possibilities. Welcome back to another episode of Unexpectedly Successful. We sit down today with Jackie Griess. She became so passionate about running and growing this bus company despite her lack of experience in the field. You see how a business owner isn't just about profit, but it is about resilience, authenticity, and inspiring others to dream big. This episode will bring the real and raw lessons that you need to get going. Let's dive into this now a multi-millionaire business of Jackie and her story. I am delighted to welcome today with us our guest speaker, Jackie Griess. She is the CEO and founder of J Diamond, DBA, Agape Travel and Tours, and launching Deeper, which is a personal and business development brand. Jackie, welcome to Unexpectedly Successful. How are you doing today?
Hi, Griselda. I am doing great. I'm so excited to be here with you.
I am excited, and I'm excited to hear all the insight that you have to share with our audience. Okay, so the first question, Jackie, to get us started, tell me and our audience, what does it mean to be Jackie for you?
You know, Griselda, that is a great question. I don't think out of all the podcasts I've done that anyone has ever asked me that question. I love that question. It means that I have to wear a lot of different hats. You know, it means that, I have to be mother, wife, business owner, coach, consultant, you know, um, that and so much more. Sometimes I feel like a how do you say it? Uh, Not pastor, but I think when you're leading people, there's different roles that you have to step into, and you have to be able to deal with all different types of situations and people that are going through different things.
All right, Jackie, I'm going to dig deeper here. If we deleted the roles and the titles, what does it mean to be Jackie?
Compassionate. It would say, oh boy, just authentic. It would be not perfect, it would definitely be, striving constantly daily to be an example and a role model.
Awesome, Jackie. Awesome. Thank you for digging deeper there. Okay, so tell us, why do you think you wanted to become a business owner? And I know you have a really interesting childhood story related to that. So tell us a little bit of the background for that.
Yeah, so I grew up in a home of entrepreneurs. My father, ever since I was born, that I knew what I knew. My parents were entrepreneurs since the day I was born, and my father had a shop, an upholstery shop, at my in the back of our house. So I just grew up seeing business every day, and sort of thought that was the norm. For a person to, have something that was theirs.
So your father had a full-time job and he had the shop on the side.
Yes, and that was a full-time job as well.
On its own, right? How did he handle that with the responsibilities of being a father and a husband?
Yeah, you talk about time management. So I would see my dad get up early in the morning, 6, 7 o'clock. He worked till about 2:30, got ready for his 4 o'clock shift, drove to the shipyard where he worked, worked to 12. We'd get home about 12:30, sleep till about 6, wake up and do it every single day. And on the weekends, he would do it the entire weekend.
Wow. What was the role of your mother, Jackie, in this partnership?
I would say her role was really not only a support system, but she was the accounting person. She was the marketing person. She was the person that went out on the jobs to get all of the estimates and did the measurements. And so she was that right hand person right next to him.
Wow, it was a true partnership there. And with the kids around, what was your roles for that partnership? How do you remember being part of this effort, this family effort?
Oh yeah, you definitely try to carry your weight. I was the youngest of 9, so I sort of got a little bit of more of the better end of the stick there. But yeah, just trying to make it easier for my mom because she, like I said, it was 9 of us, and so not only that, but just her being able to you know cook and clean. So we were like her support system.
So your mother was a support system to your father, and you kids were the support system to the household and your mother in that role.
Looking back, it was such a great learning experience because some of the values that I carry today come directly from watching them in their business. Trying to do business with integrity, honesty, treating people right, treating people fairly, just that effort of working, like I do work in here, but when I go home, I'm working as well. So it is that thing of just always striving for more, for greater.
So Jackie, that's the family story. How did your own story becoming an entrepreneur started?
Yeah, so I just always loved business. And I was sort of that person that was like the square peg in a round hole. It was like I was not a good employee. I mean, I just was, thank goodness I have employees that are not quite like myself. But yeah, it was just something in me. It was very difficult. If I had 5 hours of vacation, I'd use those up. And, I would, and I think it's because I never really found a place that I was where I felt like I fit, you know. So I can remember the last job that I had. It was, I would drive around in that parking lot. There were times that I would drive to work, and I worked probably about 35 minutes from my house. And I would drive to the parking lot, and I was like, I can't do this. And I drive home.
Oh, wow.
And that's when I knew. I was like, there's something that, I needed to do. It was that thing that I saw growing up. And that's when I sort of knew. So I started doing things. I had a carpet cleaning business one time, just
Was that your first entrepreneurial effort, Jackie? The carpet cleaning?
when I was younger, I would sew pillows and I'd make things with my parents and with my dad when I was a lot younger. I would do things and like sell little items, like pillows and things like that. And then the next thing was this carpet cleaning business that me and a girlfriend started.
So when you started your carpet cleaning business, were you still an employee somewhere else, or was that? Yes. So it was a side hustle.
It was a side hustle. It definitely was a side hustle.
How old were you then, Jackie?
I was in my 20s when I was doing that. So definitely yeah, it was the side hustle. And, I talk about this later about partnerships and stuff like that. So I was in partnership with someone who it wasn't her thing. She had more of a corporate, and she was more career focused. Like she was more career focused. So where this was something I was really trying to make as a business, this to her was just like, I'm going to earn some extra money. So she really wasn't, dedicated to it. And, I think we lasted maybe a month.
Oh, wow. That was a short partnership right there, Jackie.
It didn't work. She'd bring her kids to work, I mean, with us to people's houses to clean. And it was like, we can't do business like this.
So, did you continue with the carpet cleaning, or did you just folded it and moved to a different thing?
Yeah, I just sort of folded it. And then my husband, who also comes from an entrepreneurial family, um, his mother was a banker. His father owned Medallion Cabs, and so he also saw a parent that was just kind of had his own thing. So probably like a year or so into our marriage, he was like, they're going to start a bus company. And I was like, what?
How did you get started in the bus and tour or transportation business?
I was used to, so what I had seen model in front of me was a person that worked a 9 to 5 and did the business. So
Yes, that was your father.
yes. So he sort of was like, hey, I'm just going to do this business. And I'm thinking like, bus business? Like, I didn't get married for this. Because I didn't know anything about the business. I didn't know, all I knew about buses was what I would see, city buses, that type of thing. And I was like, this isn't, how are we going to make it off of this? And so he started, but me being that person that was used to an entrepreneur, I still supported him, even though I couldn't really see the vision that he saw. I still supported him. At that time, I was working this government job. I was a contractor for Hewlett Packard. Working Hewlett Packard, and I was working on base, and that was the job I would drive up to when
you would turn
make
around.
the U-turn to go home. Right. So it got to the point where I was doing more business, helping him on the side than I was doing what I was getting paid. So I told him, hey, I want to stop working and I want to try to go ahead and let's see what we can do with this company.
Jackie, at that point, it was a family decision where you knew you were going to be dependent on that revenue from the business. Tell us a little bit about that moment and everything that meant for you as a female, as a wife, as a household.
It was difficult. I'm going to, you wanted me to be real and raw.
Yes.
And I will say that it was very difficult. It was because I had the insurance, I had the paycheck that was coming in every week. And he had this company that was, we weren't, making any money. And, going through savings we were already going through savings to just keep, I think at the time he had like one bus and it was like draining us already. So when I went to him and said, hey, I'm going to do this with you full time, he was like, and his mother had worked. She was a career woman, very successful, um, and that's what he saw. So having me work with him was not what he envisioned. He really envisioned himself growing the company himself.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and as the provider, he had already left his job. And then I'm talking about leaving my job, and he was just it was difficult. We battled.
How did you manage that battle? How did you approach it? Because it was such a big deal. You not meeting the standard that he had in mind, and him not meeting the standard you had in mind, and now you're in this space of owning a bus and then making a decision. What happened next?
It was hard. I would say the transportation business, period, is a hard business.
Tell us a little bit more about that hard, Jackie.
If you Google probably the toughest businesses to survive in, like bus, your transportation, restaurant business, those are at the top of the list. They are very difficult to turn profits. They're very difficult to make it over that 1, 2, 3 year mark.
Did you know this when you had started that company?
I didn't realize it. So the equipment, the cost of the equipment, and we were at the time purchasing, it was a used motor coaches. So we were paying, $95,000, which for us, that was, your savings, that was taking money out of 401ks. That was just, yeah. So that's sort of what it looked like. And then because it was an older bus, if it broke
Repairs.
down, if it broke down, I mean, I can remember, we had a credit card at the time. We had to max the credit card out just to get the repairs on the bus.
Wow.
And so it was just that, you should stay at a job. You should, stay at a 9 to 5 because we're not going to make it.
But it was a job you didn't enjoy, and it was hard for you to be there anyway.
Yeah. So I was determined that if I could just make what I made at that job, we were healthy. I wasn't really concerned about insurance at that time. So it was like we were healthy. And my goal was that if I can make from contracts or new business what I was making, at least what I was making at this job, then I knew that we could be okay. So that was my goal, is just to, let me just make this, whatever. It was 40,000. It wasn't that much. I was like, if I could just make that, then,
So was that your negotiation point of leverage?
Yeah, that was my thing. That's what I did. And and then I said, hey, we can save on childcare because I'm going to be home, so I can take care of the kids and I can take care of the business and the contracts and answer the phones, because he was doing it all. He was answering phones and while he was driving the bus.
Wow. Wow. So how many kids did you have at that point?
So two children. Yeah,
Two
we had
children.
two small at that time. So we had two small children, and so I was dealing with the babies and trying to go out here and grow this business.
So Jackie, was it optional for you for this business to make it?
Like, that wasn't an option.
Why?
I had to make it. We had to make it. I get emotional
Tell us why it had to be successful.
because I felt that we didn't have an option. It wasn't an option for me to go back to what I was doing. It wasn't an option.
Wow.
So I had to make it work.
So at that point, it sounds like the drive shifted from your husband being the lead to Jackie saying, I will make it work.
Yeah, it definitely went from I will make it work to we're going to grow this company. So it was it really was my driving force. I felt like I didn't have an option.
So Jackie, if you are standing here and look back, do you think that it would have been a different story had you not joined that effort?
Absolutely. The company wouldn't be where it is, um, and I would have. So I think the good thing is that I never fit anywhere. I
Mm.
think that was the thing, because if I had found a place where I really loved and that I worked, maybe it was a place where I could maybe do both. But none of the jobs that I had, and plus I wasn't in that mindset.
So, Jackie, you not fitting in other jobs,
Yeah.
was that a blessing or a curse?
It was a definite blessing, because I think that's why one of my purpose and my calling was to do what I'm doing now, and to um, to continue to build what we're trying to build here now. So it's as hard as it is sometimes. I would never give it up. I would never throw in the towel. I say that sometimes. I get frustrated and I say, that's it. This is it. It's too hard. But I see a vision that's bigger than the pain sometimes. So that's what continues to drive me forward.
Jackie, you mentioned something right now, that you found a purpose. When did you become aware of that purpose?
It was so weird. I remember this one time I was working, that's when I was working for Hewlett Packard. And this guy that I went to high school with was working there as well. I didn't know it. And I was walking down the hall and he was coming up and he was like, "Jackie Griess." He said, "What are you doing here?" He was like, "I remember you always talked about having your own business and doing this." And he was like, "What are you doing?" He just looked at me like, "What are you doing?" And I just remember feeling like, wow, that was my dream. And that was something that I was passionate about. And that sort of jolted me into that.
Your dream of having your own business, and then for whatever reason you put it on the archives and you forgot about it until this person reminded you.
Yeah. And the way he said it was almost like it was,
A surprise.
I mean, it was a great job. It was, I mean, we were working in an office and all of that. But it was almost like it was I don't know, it was just, yeah, it just hit. The way he said it to me was just like, I expected my expectations of you when you were in high school was like different. You talked about this and you talked about that. And, you know,
So from that point forward, you were reminded of that dream.
it made it very difficult. I remember just it was, and we worked the night shift, so that was another thing. I worked a night shift, and so it sort of reminded me of my dad going into this place that I remember as a kid he hated, but he did it because he had to support 9 kids.
One piece of information for my audience is that Jackie is the owner of this multi-millionaire tour and transportation business. So the stories that you just heard was the genesis of this multi-millionaire company. Tell us, what were keys to your success, Jackie, in that shifting?
I would say definitely mindset. Just really changing that mindset. We have what it takes to grow. We have what it takes. We just need the right people. We need, that was always my thing, is if we have the right group of people, we can grow. We can do something really extraordinary.
So you had the vision, and that included a team.
Yes. Yes.
as being able to make it work.
Yes. Absolutely.
How were you assured that you did have what it took?
Oh, yeah. Well, I will tell you one thing I constantly do is I constantly try to put myself in environments of growth, of learning, of bettering myself, of just, and that's the reason I say it's a continuation. I just, I don't always get it right. I don't always get it right, but I try constantly to to be better. Whether it's going to conferences, whether it's joining groups like the Inner Circle, I3, just to continuously perfect and get better at at being a better leader, being a better business owner, um, just being creating a better environment for the people I um, that work with us, and so that is really my thing, is to continuously try to improve myself and improve the environment that my people that have decided to come alongside with us, that they are exposed to. So that's really important to me.
That's awesome. Jackie, along those lines, tell us who in your life, as a mentor, as a coach, as somebody who spoke your name in the right room, who comes to your mind that has made a huge difference?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, I would say first and foremost, my mother. I have to just say that she really, she's not living. Her neither parent is living at this time, but my mother went through tremendous adversity, and um, and at a time when it was very difficult to to be a minority, a woman, and the respect that she had in our community. So she really, really showed me to never ever give up. Never
Wow.
give up. Yeah, I
Wow.
never saw my mother not get out of bed, not wanting to get out of bed, not putting on a smile, not doing what she had to do. Not once did I ever see that. And so I would say definitely her. I definitely give credit to my pastor, who really helped me see that who really instructed me and helped me see that there was this greater version of what I was supposed to do. And Pastor Darius Daniels, I give him a lot of the kudos and credit as well, because he has helped me perfect a gift that was inside of me.
Wow, wow. And Jackie, we've talked about the transportation business. How about the launching deeper? Tell us a little bit about that. And then I'll have a tricky question on that one.
Yeah, so during COVID, our business was shut down completely. The transportation business was shut down. No one was getting on buses. And you can imagine when you're running a company and you have multiple millions of dollars worth of debt every year. So monthly, it was like, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars that was just pure debt, pure what went out the door, and no business coming in. And it was like every call during 2020 basically almost was cancel, cancel. We want our money.
Wow.
So we went from this thriving business to literally overnight a business that no one wanted to, and I, I was scrambling. I was scrambling to, we had to start furloughing people, sending people home. That was hard. That was very hard. It was, because we had employees that actually depended on the business for their bread and butter. So we were sending people home. We were not getting any revenue in and bills going out. And I was just like, Lord, I couldn't hear God. I didn't. And then all you heard were people pivoting and starting a mask, and they were selling, Crocs, or they were doing all these like innovative things. And I was like, I can't do anything. I don't, I was literally paralyzed. And since it was my husband and I, it wasn't like he had a different career than I had. It affected both of us. So it started to be, well, it's your fault you didn't do this, or your fault we didn't do that. And
Wow.
it was to be honest, it was hell. And I remember reaching out to my pastor, and I said, I know God is telling me something, but I can't hear him. And he said, what I hear God saying is you need to go silent for 2 days. He said, there are two questions that I want you to ask God. I want you to ask him, what am I to pursue and what strategy? I literally got in a chair, sat in my front yard under a tree. 2 days. Like, I went in the house at night, but I'd wake up and I'd sit back in that chair and I'd say, Lord, speak to me. Tell me. And I would repeat that. What is it that I'm supposed to pursue? And what is the strategy? And I would just write what I heard God say, and launching deeper. That's what I heard.
Wow.
Launching deeper. And you're going to help others launch deeper. And your business, you're going to launch deeper in your business. And I'm just like, how, God? And he just kept saying, I kept hearing in my spirit, launch deeper, launch deeper. And it was once I said, okay, I'm going to do this. And I shook myself off and stopped. I was like in a panic every day, like making calls, trying to get government money, trying to do all this stuff. And once I just said, okay, God, I'm going to launch deeper. Every day he would start downloading. This is what you need to do. I'm going to show you how to do this.
Wow. What a story, Jackie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. So what does launching deeper means to you now after that big crisis that led to really sit down and listen?
Like a year before this, I heard a sermon by T.D. Jakes. So a year before COVID happened, I was listening to a sermon by T.D. Jakes. He said, and T.D. Jakes, for those who don't know him, he's accomplished. He's a billionaire, investor. He's movie mogul, pastor, book author, all these things. So he was doing a sermon and he said, even with all this stuff God tells me to do, he wants me to, there were times that God told me to launch deeper, but I was afraid. I let limiting beliefs stop me. So what you see is a lot, but there was more God told me to do. So when I heard that a year before COVID, it stuck with me. I'm like, as much as he's accomplished, God is still saying there's more. So
Wow.
it was like the pieces of the puzzle clicked. And I saw that what God was telling me, that what he's placed in my hands, that if I use what's placed in my hands, that there's more. And as every time I use it and every time I do it, he'll give me more to do, you know. And so that led to launching deeper. I didn't know. In 2022, I did a master class in January of 2022. I did a master class and had my bishop. He was the master class speaker. I didn't know what I was doing, didn't have a reason to do it, but I knew this mandate from God was to launch deeper, bring people on a stage that was a role model for people to launch deeper. That was January. I debriefed with my team that I had assembled, right? And I said, well, who's the next masterclass speaker? And one of the guys on my team, he said, Dr. Darius Daniels. And I said, well, I don't know Dr. Darius Daniels. I'm not connected to him. And I'm like, Sam, who do you think I am? I'm just doing this thing. Like, he said, well, you're telling us to launch deeper and believe that we can do the impossible. So we need you to believe that God is going to make a way for this dynamic speaker to be your next masterclass speaker.
Wow.
So we all put it on our boards, and the opportunity to join I3 came weeks, probably in February. That opportunity opened up. I joined it, and we had an opportunity to go to Florida for a meetup. And my team was like, this is the door.
Wow.
So I threw it out there. He accepted, and that's how this thing has been rolling ever since. And it put structure to a thing that I didn't even know existed. I was just doing what God had told me to do. And then this started to bring structure. And then we formalized it as, the Launching Deeper Enterprises LLC, doing business and personal development, coaching, consulting, and business strategy.
Wow. So the tricky question, if you saw this person in the elevator and by whatever reason she told you, I want to launch a business, what would be the 3-minute strategy you would give her to move forward?
Oh, absolutely. I would tell her to definitely get a coach. I would say align yourself with a mentor that can help give you a strategy, help you develop a strategy, and someone that can assist you with the blueprint, because that saves you years off of just trying to do it on your own. But definitely align with your purpose. Just make sure that your purpose is aligned with your business, because so many people want to start a business. But if you're not doing it, if it doesn't align with your purpose, you're not going to be happy. You'll have a business, you can grow a business. It doesn't have to align with your purpose. But if you want to, what I tell people, if you want to build the business and live the life, not only that you dreamed of, but that you hoped for, then that's the key. You want to align with someone that can help you do that.
So when you talk about purpose, Jackie, we've mentioned that in a couple of instances. What does that mean to you as a businesswoman, as a successful businesswoman? What do you do in the business world that is driven by purpose?
Yeah, what makes the difference is it connects with who I am. So whether it is transportation, whether this business was transportation or if I was in IT or whatever that thing is, it should be something that you're passionate about. It should be something that if you didn't get paid to do it, you would still wake up and you would do it every single day. That's what purpose, when you know that it just aligns with your core, that calling that God is, whether you believe in God or you say the universe or whatever you want to say, but that thing that keeps you up at night, that thing that is who you are, the core of who you are, and how you're able to utilize that to help build the kingdom, to make the world a better place, help build your community. That's when I say, you're walking and it aligns with your purpose.
And for those who may not have the benefit of having a support system, of having the luxury to like quit their jobs, what would you recommend them to take their next step? How?
a lot of times what I hear from people is, I don't have the time because I work a 9 to 5. Well, you have 168 hours in a week. So out of that time, you can find an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours per week to work on, whether it's just putting together a business plan, putting together your list of potential customers, your avatar, doing something that will help you connect with what you feel that you're called to do. And that's what I tell people. Definitely, you don't want to leave your bread and butter. I mean, unless God tells you to do it. Now, if God says to do it, then you definitely should definitely do what God says. But a lot of times when God speaks to you with something, it's not necessarily immediately. His timing is a lot different than our timing. So it might just be a time of preparation to, just to start doing research on that thing that you want to do. So those would be my recommendation for people is just start to, learn about the business, learn who your customers are, find out if it's something that solves a problem. There are a lot of things that we want to do, and it could be a passion project, but it may not be something that we can monetize. So I
Got
always,
it.
well, do research, find out, is this something you'd pay for?
So find the time among those 160 hours a week, start researching, find out who your customer is, create your business plan, understand if there is a business opportunity there so that somebody could monetize on it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for that insight. And Jackie, in this very intense journey as a businesswoman and as a family owned business, and you coming from a family of entrepreneurs, what would be one word to summarize this journey of entrepreneurship for you?
Whew. Oh man, that is such a great question. I would say, the one word, I would say fulfillment.
Fulfillment. Wow, that's exciting.
Yeah, that's it. Fulfillment.
That's exciting. Jackie, yes or no? Were you expected to be successful?
I would say yes.
Awesome.
I would
Awesome.
say, it's, and I love the name unexpectedly successful, but, because people maybe from the outside, it was unexpected. Right. But I just think I felt that I was, that it wasn't about maybe the money, but I just having some peace and some joy, then, being able to provide something for my family, I feel that would be success for me. I would say this is unexpected successfully. In seeing all that God is doing with it is very unexpected. I didn't see it. I didn't see this. I didn't see launching deeper. I only saw the charter bus company. I didn't see this side. So yeah.
I mean, when you talk about launching deeper, your tone of voice just changes, and it's like this joy and fulfillment. So we are very excited to hear what's going to come with that. And for people who may want to contact you, Jackie, what is your website?
You connect at launchingdeeper.com, sign up for our newsletter. That way you can stay up on everything that's going on. Whenever there's new programs or new events, you're going to get that. You definitely on Instagram, on Facebook. It is Launching Deeper at Launching Deeper, and it's like the blue D. You'll see it, and I call it the Launching Deeper Blue. And also on Instagram, I have my personal brand that I'm trying to grow as well, which is Jackie Griess. And then our charter bus company, which is Agape Travel and Tours. And
Awesome.
those are ways that people can connect.
Awesome, Jackie. Awesome. I'm so excited for what is to come for your business and all the people that you're going to be able to help launch deeper. This was my last question, Jackie, and I thank you for your time. And for my audience, please share this story with other people that may benefit from getting inspiration, getting know-hows, strategies, and just finding your purpose in what we do every single day. Until next episode, thank you for joining us in Unexpectedly Successful.
Thank you.